Welcome to Inquiry into Self, and today I'm discussing with Justin, my very good friend and Akashic Records reader, and we're going to just dialogue about what has been showing up for us as we're recognizing this one that we are and how it expresses in unexpected ways. So, Justin, did you want to dive in, or I can dive in, whichever way?
Sure. One thing that's been really alive for me recently is really viscerally feeling that I am not my thoughts. It's a thing that we all say. I've said it 1,000 times as a meditation teacher, but it's been so apparent to me that like this thing that I identify with so much. I'm a head type in personality analysis. I'm a head type. And for me, it is such an enormous thing to really feel that and to to see how it is like nothing. Like thinking is just nothing. It's like the surface of an ocean. It's like literally like this two-dimensional part of the whole experience of an ocean. Emotions too. Emotions are barely there. Like they're barely there's barely any self to it. It's been so wonderful to feel that and to like really sink into the depths that experience the surface. And the surface is there. It's not like it's not there just because I see it's not a me. Um, it it is it is like everything is fun. Everything is fun. I had a disagreement with my partner last night, and we could feel both of us could feel like our little ego apparatus sort of like kick in, and it was like maybe this could be fun, like because I don't identify with this so much. Maybe this could be fun. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. That's so the um the commentator feels like it's doing something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
It thinks
Nothing.
there's nothing there.
There's no motor to it. There's no energy source for it. It's just barely making a whisper over the reality.
Yeah, it's just wild because I'm so used to investing so much like reality to the commentator. Oh yeah, all my preferences and opinions, like yeah, that's me. Like it's just dust on the surface of a giant ocean. It's like nothing.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other examples?
Hmm. Yeah, today at work there was some really interesting dramas. I am hiring uh I work at a college admissions consulting company, and I was hiring some new college essay coaches. And one of the candidates I turned down. And it was a decision we all made on the team that this person didn't have the skills. And they wrote this scathing like screed against me, and like called me toxic and like pretentious or was condescending. And and I was like, well, that's all been true in the past, so that's okay. It's okay that I hear that. And also I had no personal reaction to it. Like mostly I was just like, I'm so glad we turned this person down. We're spared. Like we don't have to deal with the drama queen. And then in like an hour later, I get a very long email from a parent of a student who I'm helping, like thanking me profusely for like the care that I show her son, and like is just so glad that I'm her counselor for her son. And again, I was like, I don't personally like identify with any of this. Like it doesn't boost anything, it doesn't change anything. Like yes, I'm happy that she's happy, and not so happy that guy was so unhappy, but uh I I could feel like wow, this doesn't like stick. Like it doesn't. It's just fun or interesting or you know. I can't take credit. Like that's the feeling. Like there's no one to take credit. I mean, I don't want to be like there's no responsibility in life because it doesn't feel real either. Um, but yeah, there's there's just this lack of being either hurt or augmented or somehow boosted by other people. That was a nice gift today.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a relief.
It's like, yes, take me out of that roller coaster, please.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the great thing is that then when you see that about your own thoughts, you see that about everybody else's thoughts.
Yes.
So,
Yes. It's like, my goodness, don't believe that. Just like, it's really nothing.
right. Every analysis we read about anything,
Yeah.
every analysis, it's that's all it is. It's just a bunch of words. A whole other set of words could equally be written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we see, people go to war over thoughts, over beliefs, and it's, God made the word becomes flesh. And my gosh, look at that. If there was one way I could like somehow transform humanity into like a peaceful race, it would just be like that one little switch. It's like, oh, these aren't real. I don't own this. This has nothing to, this doesn't actually reference anything true.
Right. Right. I am never in danger. Danger
Yeah.
is just an idea, a word.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as danger.
Mm, mm.
It- It's great.
It's so great. Other than believing your own scary movies, that's the only dangerous thing ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yep. Doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't matter at all.
Mm,
Yeah. Yep. What a relief. Oh, that's
mm.
so great.
Yeah.
I would say for me, what's been happening the most is um seeing how there is not one single thing that could be different because it's so interconnected and
Mm,
so um, divinely manifesting.
mm,
So the fact that I can bite into an amazing fruit requires everything else to be exactly like it is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, you know, I hear another piece of news, supposedly somebody's done such and such to so and so, whatever it is. And what immediately comes up is, oh, and that's it too. That's it too. That's it too. And, we were um, going down to Santa Rosa. The car broke down. I was going to be late for work. Okay, how's this going to play out? It was just this blessing, blessing, blessing. There just wasn't any catastrophic thing. I got reported to the manager, blah blah blah. It just all worked out just fine. There weren't any extra patients. So the person who was there, fortunately there was somebody there, was able to see them.
Mm.
It was just, and the guy who picked us up in his tow truck turned out to know somebody who could fix the car on a Saturday. And
Wow.
just really amazing. Totally, totally amazing. The whole
I
thing.
love that. And it's just that confidence that this version of events must be this way for the good.
Yes.
It
Yes.
this serves the good. I don't know how, but it certainly serves the good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that knowing, it's like I've done enough worksheets now. Something has just finally just said, of course this is for the good.
Yeah.
Just Let's just take the shortcut here. I know this is for the good. It's just obvious. There's no other way it could be. Yes.
I
But
love that. Oh my gosh, because it's just everything is good. Everything's extra bonus fun. Everything is extra bonus um joyous. It's 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 I think how the earth, if I could get into the earth's business, I don't know, but I think if the earth had a point of view or an aim for the whole human experiment, I think that would be it. It would be like when you know everything it just serves the better good, the greater good, it's just a great party.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And really, when you use the word party, it makes everything fit because
Yeah.
everything can be happening at a party. People can be vomiting, people can be fighting, people can be telling outrageous stories, can be zonked out on the couch.
Yeah.
Everything is allowed at a party, and it's part of the party.
Yeah. Yeah. It is the totality, having a great time, doing all these different versions, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I just recently somebody was telling me some outrageous story of some super high up powerful position and how they were abusing humans and on the soul level, like they can see into the soul level, and this was not just having ramifications at the physical level; it was delaying people's spiritual progress and blah blah blah. I don't know if that's true, but at first I was like, really? Like you can delay somebody's soul progress? Yeah, it's a little gas at the possibility of that, but like multiple lifetimes, this is what they were telling me. And then it was like, well, it doesn't really matter if it's true. I don't know if it's true. If it's true, it doesn't matter what level of reality we're talking about. It's
Mm.
all this adventure that is fundamentally the juiciest thing that could possibly happen. Like,
Yes.
I just, yeah, there was no alarm that could take hold.
Mm. Mm.
It's,
What do you I'm gonna now play a little of like devil's advocate and interrogate this whole idea of everything serves the good. So, uh, evil, things that we consider to be evil, uh, is 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 this is this view somehow what are the words, somehow um, making it acceptable that the world has evil, that life has what we call evil.
well, I feel very grateful for what we call evil.
Mm,
Um, it doesn't mean that there isn't also, it's very, very natural.
mm,
When we come up against evil, there will be whatever needs to happen that arises within us. It can
mm,
be a pushing away, it can be a fighting, it can be a stop. Whatever needs to happen will arise. But that is essential. The strength I develop in learning how to do that, the courage, the insight, the wisdom,
mm,
and the gratitude for the person who's on the evil side right now, because I've been on the evil side. I can
mm,
remember being on the evil side.
mm.
And, that's not an easy lifetime. And for now, we've got, we play both sides.
Yeah.
So, whoever's doing that right now, that is no easy thing. I just end up feeling like, golly, glad it's not my turn right now. And I'll take all the learning. I'm going to soak up all the learning because we're wearing it out. We're running it out of gas, and I will grab every little bit of learning because we're running it out of gas.
Yeah. When you say running it out of gas, do you mean the the karma for evil? We're wearing that down?
Right. The collective need
Mm.
to experience evil, the collective need to get to be a warrior, the
Yeah.
collective need to experience defiance, all of that is just,
Yeah.
we're kind of getting sick of it.
We are getting sick of it. I really do feel that we are coming to the end of an era where power over is just not interesting. It's just not juicy. The cost is too gross. It's just like, oh well, this part of the party, it just doesn't. It's no fun.
Right. Exactly. And that sense is just starting to pervade more
Mm,
and more and more people. So that's saturating through the whole consciousness.
mm, mm. Do you at all consider evil to be like a force, like good versus evil or yin versus yang?
I would, I mean, talk about words. This is
Yeah, I
so
know.
the word territory. Because there's, at the fundamental level, there's one thing, one web, and it is, compressing and stretching as it
Mm,
waves around. Compressing and stretching. That's really it.
mm,
But that's, what is experienced for me at one of the higher perspectives.
mm,
As you drop down, there's, the individual components in the web. And um, yes, there's, you can be at the more etheric level, and everything has an energy.
mm,
Every this there's an energy of compassion, an energy of truth, an energy of kindness. There's an energy of health, an energy of rejuvenation. I mean, everything. You could call them spirits.
mm,
So everything good and everything evil has an energy and
mm,
an intelligence in that energy. So yes, of course.
mm.
And then it drops down to, and then there's kind of like a physical manifestation doing its thing. But, the autonomy, yeah, there's the urges are part of the web.
Yeah.
All the urges are part of the web. And the web is so intelligent
Mm,
that in any moment it's like, oh, okay, there's an urge that needs to have its full adventure of seeing itself and then resolving. There's another urge that needs to have a full experience of seeing itself and resolving. They're going to be perfect coming right up against each other, and the web just immediately makes that happen. What do you think? How does it feel for you?
it is uh, what I experience is very similar to what you just described. It's like evil is like wind, um, and but there's no wind without sun. There's it's not like it's an independent wind. A tree in the wind is the totality at its finest. It's like everything is required for this clockwork. And so for me, the what you had said earlier about um, things that appear violent or unkind actually having a role to play in the totality, the drama of the totality. I I experience that more and more now, and and kind of like I was saying earlier, it also just takes away this personal, you know, what it means about me, or the victim thing. Um, there's this fabulous quote from Byron Katie in her book "A Mind at Home with Itself," and she's talking about uh, I can't remember the story. It's it's maybe a hypothetical. It might not be a real story, but she talks about being wrongfully arrested, and uh, and she says I would welcome that because I have committed crimes in my life. It just happens to not be that crime. So you know, wrong, right body, wrong crime. So there's, and what you just said about wanting to learn the growth, the soul's food is growth. And I think when we really are aware, like we're really onto the game of what the soul's food is, struggle and challenge are exciting. Oh my gosh, what deep thing am I going to get from this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is so true.
Yeah.
Really. It's right. When the car first broke down, I thought, wow, I am not going to make any money out of my work today because all of it is going to go towards me getting some kind of a ride to the hospital, which is over an hour away.
Wow.
And getting the car repaired on a Saturday. Where in the world is Daniel going to spend the night as he stays with the car? And this is a Saturday. He probably won't make it back to Santa Rosa until Monday. So I've got to figure out a place for him to stay. And, so I was just like, okay, well, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And it went so much better than that. But, it was like, okay, the amazing thing, I have plenty of money to handle that.
Mm,
So really, not a problem.
mm,
Not
mm.
a problem. And I was just like, okay, well, I just want to get to work to help my coworker. That seemed to me the thing I wanted to do. And whatever money it was going to take to get there, I was going to do it. So, yeah, it's the once, you know, it's really once I've seen that I want more than anything else to know this that we are.
Mhm.
And it is always showing me through what is happening. It's never not in something that's happening.
Mm, mhm.
So if I'm distancing myself from anything that's happening, I'm distancing myself from the exact thing that I want to know more than anything else in the world. So my priority is to figure out how to not distance myself and embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. The big stuff, I don't know. I think the big stuff turns out to be easier once I've looked at all the little stuff in my life. It's just like, okay, well, if all of these things have been good for me, then I know all the big stuff.
Mm.
But the little stuff, um, I asked Daniel to get something at the store, and it's the end of the day, and the ingredient I need for dinner has not arrived. And I wrote it on the board. I told him, I wrote it. I mean, how many more ways can I tell him? All those kinds of things. And I mean, this is not like it happens every day or anything, but
Mm.
it's those kinds of little things where the opportunity is actually the biggest to say,
Yeah.
oh, yes, so the universe is giving me the gift
Mm.
again of realizing my opportunity here is to see love in its different forms, to see creativity in its new forms, to, however we end up working it out, that my idea of order, that really is the thing there. My idea of order has nothing to do with reality.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I bet my partner would love me to say that to him. Because I'm the one who pretends to know more about that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Those little things are those extra bonus little, this is how love can show up in this unique way. And I love that attitude because there's no planning needed. It's like you get to wake up and discover there's no effort to be made there. It's
Yeah.
already done. The universe, the totality doesn't require this thing to like figure that out. On the other side of that though, I am curious to talk about an intentional uh, like routine or ritual or rhythm to the day? Like, is it important to you to wake up at a certain time and do certain things for your mind or your well-being to get the day going and to go deeply into this knowing what we are, that this thing you want to wake up and do so badly? So I'm curious if you bring those kinds of like more human, like, you know, um, those things that really grow resiliency and grow capacity and productivity, and like that, people hire coaches to work out. Anyway, I'm curious if the more intentional side of creating your life is a part of your life.
Well, I came from ultra organized.
Yeah.
So organization fortunately comes pretty naturally for me. And
Mm.
most of my work is letting go of organization. Um, I think some people have the opposite journey, right? They're
Yeah.
learning, oh, maybe some more organization is helpful. I think now I'm kind of in this wavering place where I'll let go of some organization, bring some back, that kind
Mm.
of thing. I um, I do really enjoy meditating, so it is really not a chore for me. Um, so, I usually wake up early enough, and it doesn't have to be long, 20 minutes, but usually wake up early enough that I get to do that. Um, but I do see my life as my primary practice. Like, what am I doing that's keeping my heart open, that's keeping me in tune so that I'm listening? And I feel like I am listening, and there are teachers all the time.
Mm. Mm.
We have these two trees, bushes that grow like crazy in our backyard. And one of them was potted, we didn't do this, but was planted sort of in the middle. So like um and it grows from the very bottom, so you can't really see around it or past it. And I wanted to be more of a bush size. So I was trimming it, and the clippers I had were not that sharp. And I was not being nice to that bush. And I could hear it, not
Mm.
verbally, but I could hear it, like, really? Can't you like do this a little more nicely? And I didn't.
Mm.
Now I would. Now I would. We've had a few more conversations since then. But so now I'm sending it lots of gratitude, lots of positive energy, so it can go through the next stages of going recovering from my trimming. Um, but it was so much grace. The
Mm.
amount of grace I received from that experience, it was like, well, I'll survive this, but you don't have to do it like that.
Mm.
And now I can see, what it's got to do to come fill back out again, because I trimmed it so much. And um and I just feel it's kindness. Now in the past I would have gone into guilt. But oh golly, guilt is such a waste of time. There's very little growth available in guilt.
Yeah.
Almost zero in guilt. Regret, zero growth. But when I just became grateful, oh my gosh, you're my teacher. And by seeing your pain, I get to realize how I can do better and have the motivation to take the time to figure out how to get sharper clippers next time. Like there's so much grace that
Mm.
it's like, oh yeah, and I can see how sometimes I'm doing that with my own body, or I'm doing that with a patient, or I'm doing that with my husband. Like there's so many times when, I get focused on the goal. And what an amazing teaching. Now, yeah, I can get some teachings like that in meditation, but I get so many more of them by just inviting my life and listening and noticing. And where did my heart open? Where did my heart constrict? And how can what was the underlying thing happening that was in play at that moment.
Mm, mm,
So practices, yes, I have some practices, and they tend to flex with how my schedule flexes. But my main practice is actually making sure that I use everything in my life that I can.
mm.
What about you?
This is something I'm interrogating. I used to be very much, morning routine, consistent. Like that was very important to me. Consistency breeds greatness. Like that was sort of my motto, and I still experience that. I'm a creative writer on top of the day job I have in college admissions, and uh, I do see that when I nourish my day with things that speak to my being, and then I go to the writing desk, uh, there's just a greater capacity, and the more that I go to the writing desk, the more um, I I can have those happy accidents that happen in creative process. Um, and I mean everything you've been saying, like you got to have the bad days to have the good days. Like I've learned that in my years of trying to write, and 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 so I celebrate those days where I only get like a line of dialogue. I love those days, and uh, I have noticed for me that if I just have this approach where it's just I just put no intention into it, I just wake up and do the day as it unfolds for me. Um, I'm not as happy. I'm not as healthy feeling, and I think because I just default too easily to um, old habits. So some of those intentional practices, like morning meditation, morning qigong, um, morning Akashic pages. So I open up my own records every day and I dialogue with the records and the masters. All of that, or I do a worksheet. All of that I feel like is it's sort of like making my bed. It's like, well, I could just be like, oh, well, the universe decided to make the bed look like this. It's not up to me to like, make the bed. I can still sleep in it. But when I go to bed at night and the bed is looking pretty haggard and gross, my sleep's not going to be so good. But if past me wanted to be kind to future me and made the bed, I receive that when I go to sleep. It's like a little blessing. It's a little kindness. And that just, I don't know, it just does something to sleep that I want. So I find that putting in an effort to steward my day and have practices is useful, and I do think there is a cumulative effect. I'm
It it feels like when discipline shows up, there's this part of me that says, wow, let me see if there's something to learn from it. And then I'll find myself trying a new practice, feeling how it feels in my body. And then if my system is responding to it, then there becomes an appetite that starts bringing it in more regularly.
yeah.
So it's it really is actually extremely natural. It's kind of like, oh wow, here's a fertilizer, let's see how it works on the plants. When it works great, it's like, oh, now the plants seem to want it and I want to give it to them, and there we are, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently was doing these new movement exercises that it seemed to me to move lymph. I mean, they do other things too, but I really felt that particular benefit. And then there was like this thing in my body, like, yeah, in the middle of the day, even like, I kind of would like to do some of those right now. And if I'm listening, if I'm not so busy in my whatever agenda making, then there's the spontaneous, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. And it was because there was the interest in discipline that produced some discipline actions that now has cultivated this appetite.
Mm,
So it just feels like it doesn't have to be forced. Like right, if I was trying to force something, if I just wait another few seconds, another 30 seconds, I can say, okay, we'll wait about it before we force it. Let's just check and see, is there actually a natural interest?
mm,
And so it just seems like it makes so much more effortless.
mm.
Not that it ever was going to be efforting. It was going to be a story about efforting. It was going to be the appetite that made it happen, anyways.
Yeah,
And I was going to try to put in my story about pushing right
yeah,
before it happened, so that as it naturally happened, there was the pushing story running alongside, making it, stressful when it didn't have to be.
God bless those parts of us that want to take credit.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
want to take the blame and feel the guilt, and I want to take the credit and feel amazing and in control. And it's all nonsense.
Right.
It's all, I mean, bless these parts of my mind. I catch them every now and again. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm responsible for that. Mm-hmm.
That kind of an environment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I certainly know I couldn't be happier than I am,
Yeah.
really. Because any unhappiness that I have is always from inside of me. So it really doesn't matter my circumstances.
No.
I can this is the happiest Lisa can be right now.
Yes.
And, supposedly there's another moment, and it looks like, given all the supposed previous moments, I'm probably going to be even happier.
Yeah.
So
Because you
that's
know what? Circumstances, what they are just thoughts.
right.
It's just a story.
Yes.
They're as real as like the thought I'm having. Like the, that understanding that has been so helpful to me.
Yes. Oh, so I came up with that story that our house is the haphazard house.
Yeah.
So now that I've given it a nice label so my mind can relax, it's okay that, that all these funny things are in their funny places.
Yeah.
And now I've got to help my mind relax, given that poor Daniel, gets to be my main learning learning person. So
Yes.
now he's the mensch. He's
Yeah.
absolutely, because he is such a mensch as far as being there,
Mm,
being so reliable, always loving, always loving. I don't think he's ever gone 5 seconds without being loving to me. It's amazing. Um, and then my mind has these stories about how intelligence of a certain sort, he's very intelligent, but a certain sort of intelligence is so important.
mm,
It's such a story because this intelligence is all about understanding our abstract models about how we think we can
mm,
explain how things work.
mm,
We really don't know.
mm.
They're models and they change. What they are now and 20 years ago are totally different. But so I recently shared about this thing where he was soaking a cloth in 100% bleach. And
Mm.
uh, that's just not what you do, according to my intelligence model. You don't do that. It makes the cloth weak. It's just like,
Mm,
how can you not know this is like, according to the intelligent models, this is,
mm,
and it's just a bunch of thoughts. Really, it has zero relationship. Okay, yeah, the cloth got weaker. But was the cloth already going to be getting weaker? Probably.
yeah.
Probably. That just seems to be the nature of these cloths. They get weaker. But one way or another, the cloth was destined to get weaker, just happened to be that way. So this emphasis on, I have to have intelligence, there has to be an intelligent replication, see, I can't even say the word, reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yes, reciprocity. Ah, you know, this is just
Mm.
such superficial, irrelevant distraction creating separation.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
all it is. Distraction creating separation. So not. So this
Mm.
just accepting, and so this is, and so this is, and so
Mm.
this is, and I can be kind even if it it seems to have no impact. I'm not
Mm.
being kind in order to have an impact. I'm
Mm.
being kind because that's my nature.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have a separate experience right now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really in the end. Am I going to have a separate experience or am I not going to have a separate experience? Doesn't all those explanations, they're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
All those I mean, all the thoughts that say things will be better when, like things should be like X. I'm addicted to stuff like this, or I have been, and it's just utterly false. It's like there's no. It's like there's just. I don't know that. I don't know. Like my partner and I were talking about getting married, and that feels really hefty and like really like substantial, and the truth is we just don't know if that's going to make things better or worse. Like my mind loves to project it's going to make everything worse. That's its favorite. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Committing in that way, in that traditional way that we all have been conditioned with, like that will certainly bring misery. Like I got to go shop for somebody different, not this one. Like my mind goes absolutely AWOL with this. But the truth is, it's like we have no idea. We have no idea. And like I could make arguments in the other direction, like, oh, it'd be really good for our growth to commit to each other as like co-learners, co-teachers, and but it's truly me making it up. It's like we could get married and the next day we're like, divorce is the best thing we've ever done. Let's do it right now. Let's get divorced. Divorce celebration, like
Right. You're right.
it's just
No idea.
no clue.
No clue. It's really in the moment. Am I living in a way that's
Mm.
creating separation unnecessarily?
Yeah.
It.
Oh my gosh.
The words have nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Mm.
We have um, our neighbor had a bush that was growing into our yard, and he didn't realize once he took away that bush that it would leave this gap where he now can see the canopy that covers our camper.
Mm.
And he doesn't like the view of the canopy.
Mm.
So he has hoped that we were going to do something to fill it in, and we haven't. So he planted something there. We
Mm.
were walking around our yard. I was like, "Oh, look, there's something new in our yard." It's not what I would have chosen, but it wasn't something I dislike either. So I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, well, free thing, why not?" And so I told him how I would take care of it, and he was like, "Oh, not so," because he wanted it to grow a certain height and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And so then I was like, okay, well, I don't mind. I can do it that way too. And then the thing died. Poor thing. We weren't on top of it very well. Um, so uh, so then I thought, okay, well, what is the thing that I would like there that seems like it would serve his thing?
Mm.
So I started emailing or texting him, here's our idea. What do you think about it? Blah blah blah. And all he would answer is, "It's your yard. It's your yard. It's your yard." But by in that past, I would have been like, "Oh, I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to be kind. He's not getting it.
Mm.
Blah blah blah." It would have been so much story. And then I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, well, um, I'll just tell him all the other options I've considered, See if he has any comment about those. Turned out he actually had negative comments about the other options I brought up. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, if he does tell me negative options about those other ones, then this one must not be so bad because he hasn't
Yeah.
said anything positive, but he didn't say anything negative. So, but amazing.
You know, you can't really divorce anyone.
Right.
It's like, I think that's why some divorces are so acrimonious and horrible. It's because deep down they realize we're completely and totally connected and we love each other and we can't help it. And it just completely doesn't um, gel with our need to separate. Like the
Right.
mind can't handle the two.
Yes.
And so it needs to
Yeah.
tell these poisonous stories. Yeah.
That willingness to find inventive ways of being connected without it looking in any traditional way,
Yeah.
like being divorced. You
Yeah.
can be divorced and still love each other very much.
Yeah.
You could be on the same hike and not be within even a whole mile of each other. You
Mm.
know, it, there's so many ways that we can actually be together and not together, and it's actually better. But
Mm-hmm.
it requires a lot of listening to ourselves, listening to the situation, experimenting, and we discover, oh wow, look at this.
Mm. Mm. Well, I think that's a wrap for me on this conversation. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
I could
that's
go
a
on.
perfect.
I could go on and on, obviously, and I have to go sit in a cold room now because I'm like melting out in the heat wave.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed being with you so much.
Oh, yes, so much. I'd love to do this every single day. This is what a treat.
Yeah, yep. Well, big hug, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, Lisa.